All right, buckle up, folks. Today we're diving into a topic that hits home, literally. We're talking about how the Trudeau government's tenure has left young Canadians priced out of homes, stuck in precarious jobs, and wondering if having kids is a luxury reserved only for the rich. Remember when the future was supposed to be brighter? Now it's just more expensive, more uncertain, and more frustrating. Welcome to Canada under Trudeau, where housing dreams go to die, jobs are gig-based, and starting a family feels like passing kidney stones. Let's break it down with some sharp facts, biting satire, and just enough hope to keep you from tossing your Tim Hortons cup in despair. Let's start with housing, because you can't talk about young Canadians without talking about the national sport of being priced out. When Trudeau came to power in 2015, the average home price in Canada was $433,000. Today, almost $800,000. That's an 85% increase in just 9 years. Wages didn't go up 85%. In fact, they barely crawled. And sure, the government promised to make housing more affordable. Instead, we got policies that turned Canada into an Airbnb nation and supercharged real estate speculation. They tried banning foreign buyers after letting the problem fester for years. It's like locking the barn door after the horse has already bought a condo. Buying a house in Canada now is like playing Monopoly with Jeff Bezos. You're not losing because you're bad at the game. You're losing because the game is rigged. Next up, employment. Young Canadians aren't just struggling to buy homes, they're struggling to secure a decent job. The economy is dominated by gig work, short-term contracts, and underemployment. In the last 12 months, nearly 1 in 5 workers aged 15 to 24 was in a temporary job. Meanwhile, high-paying sectors like oil and gas are being throttled by climate policies that make headlines but accomplish little. The result? A generation working 3 side hustles, earning just enough to pay the rent with their roommate.
Poor bastard.
Remember when parents used to say, go to university and you'll get a great job? Now it's more like, go to university and you'll get a degree in surviving on Uber Eats tips. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the rising cost of everything. Groceries up almost 30% since 2015. Rent up double digits in most major cities. Childcare still among the most expensive in the world, even with government subsidies. Inflation hit a 40-year high in 2022. And what did we get from the Trudeau government? A one-time grocery rebate that barely covered the cost of a week's groceries. And it's like throwing a water balloon at a wildfire. The government solution to inflation is like giving someone drowning in debt a coupon for 10% off a Canadian Tire. It just doesn't cut it. And here's the saddest part. Young Canadians aren't just delaying buying homes. They're delaying having kids. The birth rate in Canada is now just 1.4 children per woman, far below the replacement rate. Why? Because starting a family feels financially impossible. Between housing costs, stagnant wages, and skyrocketing living expenses, having a child has gone from being a natural step in life to being a financial gamble. The Trudeau government loves to talk about building a better future. But how can we build a future when no one can afford to have kids to live in it? At this rate, Canada's national animal won't be the beaver. It'll be the lonely millennial, clutching their unpaid student loans and wondering if their cat qualifies as a dependent. And let's not forget the cherry on the sundae of dysfunction, record deficits. The Trudeau government has racked up over $1 trillion in debt. That's trillion with a T.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Meanwhile, they pat themselves on the back for programs like the Housing Accelerator Fund, which is about as effective as a Band-Aid on a broken leg. They say we're investing in your future. But what they really mean is we're handing you the bill. It's like having a partner who maxes out your credit card on scented candles and then says, don't worry, it's an investment in our vibe. Sound familiar? Oh, and let's not forget the carbon tax. The government wants us to believe this is a game changer for the environment. Meanwhile, Canada ranks 62nd globally in reducing carbon emissions. Translation: we're paying more at the pump and to heat our homes while achieving absolutely nothing on the climate front. The carbon tax hits young Canadians especially hard. They're already stretched thin trying to cover rent and food, and now they're shelling out for more gas and home heating. It's not a tax. It's a penalty for existing in the wrong era. Canada's carbon tax is like charging someone extra for breathing and then claiming it's for their own good. It's simply gaslighting. So what's the bottom line? The Trudeau government has had nearly a decade to fix these problems, and instead, we've made them worse. Housing is unaffordable. Jobs are precarious. The cost of living is out of control, and young Canadians are being forced to rethink everything: buying a home, starting a family, even their dreams. It's time for a government that stops gaslighting us about progress and starts delivering real solutions. We need serious investment in housing supply, policies that promote stable, high-quality jobs, and a cost of living strategy that doesn't involve band-aids and rebates. Because right now, young Canadians aren't just losing economic future, they're losing hope. And when that happens, it's not just bad for them, it's bad for all of us. Thanks for watching, folks. Don't let bad policy mess with your finances or your future. Subscribe to Owl Mortgage for real talk, smart strategies, and the occasional rant, because housing and economic fairness shouldn't be this complicated. But apparently it is, because the next generation deserves better.